we have a beautiful paper collection, and it's one that's really perfect for both masculine and feminine layouts. And we have some scrapbook pages, so stay tuned.
It's called Nature's Touch. It has butterflies, berries, and florals, and it's a natural for paper crafting.
It certainly is. Come play with us. Here's the collection. Actually, here's most of the collection.
Right.
You're withholding something over there.
Oh, I have ribbons.
She has ribbons. Okay. So this is Nature's Touch, and we've got big dazzles, little dazzles, paper towel, foil paper towel, some metal leaves.
Right, and the paper pack, of course. So we're going to start with that beautiful natural look paper pack.
So these are 12 by 12, double-sided, 80-pound, everything that we're known for. The package, of course, will have ideas for scrapbooking. We're going to show you this one, and card making.
And that one too.
Good,
yeah.
Okay, and then there's even more on the other side. So that's nice, just to give you a up-close and personal look at this collection. Here is the first sheet, and this is what you meant when you said a very soft look.
That's right. It is kind of subdued, but it's just sort of a real natural nature look. I love that about it.
And if you are a scrapbooker, this of course is the area where you're going to do your photographs. If you are a card maker, okay, we'll back up just a smidge so you can think in terms of 4. Okay, so those could be 4 pages or 4
cards.
Yeah, 4 cards or the inside of a card, and you can get some beautiful, beautiful looks. Okay, Paula, moving on. So we have a tone-on-tone texture paper, texture-looking paper, and then we have a kind of a collage sheet. And you can see it's got postcards, it's got all of the elements that you mentioned.
Right.
Then we have a green tone-on-tone, and as we get in close, you can see I love what our designers do, because there's richness and depth in all of, so this could just been a solid green, but no, we've got leaves and ferns are all intertwined. Here we'll back up and you can see this is also a light one, but we've got text over here, we've got leaves coming in, we've got texture.
And they're ghosted in. That's what I love about that. That's not going to take the spotlight off of your craft.
Right, and then this is a darker sheet, and again, it has everything kind of radiating into the center. Then we'll turn these over, and you can see the back side. We've got this diamond both in the brown and in the green, so that's going to work well, and yet you can see the leaves behind that. And then this is, turn it right side up, Paulette, and you can see that it's got like dried elements on it.
Dried grasses and leaves.
Thanks,
and
it's
sort of a pressed flower look actually on that one.
And then we have a brown. This is a dot, but you can see the kind of scuffing and texture behind it. Then we have kind of a paisley, not a paisley,
kind of a really
tile.
unique kind of a tile piece, like a mosaic almost.
And then this is a gray, and again it has that lightness of the ferns and the leaves. So.
Beautiful, and we have perfectly coordinated ribbons. So you're getting 12, 36 inches each, with the exception of the jute twine, which is going to be 72 inches, and that's kind of a brown. But you've got nice wide brown crepes. You've got this really great touch of, I love that light purple crepe. There's a dotted Swiss in there. You're getting a grid ribbon in a green. You're getting a swirl sheer, nice little gingham touch, which I think is fun. You get that beautiful glimmer piece, which is kind of a lilac. And let's see, a twill, a beautiful green twill, and a nice little 1/4 inch black sheer. So you've got lots to choose from. I think I've got everything in there.
And so many people tell me they love the way the ribbons coordinate, and they are hand selected. You should see the process. Now these are our large dazzles. So we've got the 2 different sheets of the 8x9, and this is brown with gold foiling, and I just think it is so pretty.
It's just striking, and they sit nicely on those papers. That gold foil edging really is a nice look.
And then the bonus of the gold jewel dazzles, 540 little jarlings right there. This is where you can see both of those sheets a little bit better. So we'll back up just a smidge so you can see There you
So
go.
you've got large ferns, small ferns, you've got leaves, words. I love the different words. Glorious moments, inspire, enjoy life. So lots to use.
Right, and the borders too. Then we have a smaller pack. These are called framed leaves. And again, it's the brown with the gold edging. So a little more thinking for card making here. And we'll get in close so you can see these images. There are 13 designs, again, borders, words, and images. Then our foil paper toll. Now, you know about the foil. It is just beautifully done for us in England, although the artwork is ours. And these are all die cut, and you just layer them together with foam tape, just following the numbers 1, 2, 3, and they'll pop up, and we'll show you some examples.
Right.
And then last are these metal, very lightweight pieces, these leaves.
Yeah. And they can go on with foam tape. You can zot them onto your projects, and it really leaves just a nice finishing touch.
It does, and you can sand them if you want to.
Sure.
Not sure if we'll have examples,
You can
but
sand
we've done
them, you
that in the
can ink
past.
them a little. You can even
Yeah.
put embossing powders on these and heat them.
Ah, okay.
Really neat.
Let's get to projects. We're
Okay.
going to start with scrapbooking, and this is our first one, and appropriately, this is Summer Camp is the title. But you can see what happens by kind of clustering your photos in the center, which most of us do, but bringing in these large pieces. It's
Right.
just so pretty.
And then allowing the artwork on the edges to be prominent as well. So if you're staying in the center, you're really using that artwork on the outer edges. Now this is a summer piece. Easily this could be fall.
Right.
And so that's a nice look about it. It can go both ways. But I really love the tearing of the paper. You tear the paper, ink that edge a little bit, and it's sort of more natural that way.
Kind of works with an outdoor scene. Down here, we'll get in a little bit closer, and just want you to see this Dazzles was placed on
the pattern paper, actually.
And then it has been chalked.
It has been chalked.
Okay.
So just very simply, here's one of those pattern papers with those great looks behind there. Pick wherever you want to put this. I've got the Dazzles here. You know how Dazzles, how simple they are to remove and just place on your piece. Comes right off like that. I'm just going to place it. And I would probably do it, you know, to save paper, I would do it more toward the edge, but I just want you to be able to see it really well. I've got a
As opposed to in the middle, huh?
Right. I've got a basic chalk set, and Lene just took the little alligator clip that's on here. She got a little bit of blue on there. Actually, maybe she used that one, so I'm going to move over to this one. And just started adding it. And you can do that right over the Dazzle, right onto the paper, and use as little or as much as you like.
So
and
you can
just
really
sort of focus that in the center.
Yeah, get your color where you want it.
Right.
Putting Dazzles on pattern paper is something I appreciate. The same way I do stamping on pattern paper is that you get the richness of what's going on instead of just a flat color.
Right. But it's that simple. Now you've just got a little extra on there, and then you just cut around the edges and get the look that you have here.
And voila, that's what you have. Now this is a double page spread, so I'm going to bring in the second page and let you see these side by side. In this case, they elected to use the same paper. Of course, you get 2 of each one, so that works out fine. But on this, we've got a torn paper that's going horizontally.
Right.
Here we've got piece that's going vertically, and then a cut piece that's going right next to the photo.
And then
kind
you've
of
got
going
those
in.
dazzles that sort of anchor everything and bring balance to the rest of the page. So that's what's great about these dazzles.
I want to bring in on this area so that, like the fern is so pretty on the other page, this stem just going right up. The jute wrapping vertically around the photo, I think it gives kind of an outdoor feeling,
it
and
really does.
that's nice. We've got more, and again, the overlapping is just really pretty. You don't have to keep it all on the one paper. You can let that bridge the photos, the journaling.
That's great with these dazzles, and I love the gold jewel dazzles, just added as little accents here and there. So
that
it's such
over
a
here
it's such a nice collection that way.
Nice.
So
Okay,
great
so that's
for a
our
scrapbook
first
page.
Now, if you want to go into card making, here we go. There's that tile piece and one of the borders, and isn't that just lovely?
It is beautiful. It is just backing that dazzle on that piece. Let's go ahead and look at the card, and then I'll show you a little bit about that.
And that's more of the torn paper you were talking about.
Torn
and on the
elements.
inside, just so we've got enjoy
Beautiful.
life, a nice affirmation.
Very simple, just to pop those dazzles on there. So this is a pretty a basic card,
It is.
easy to do. I will note, did you note the cutaway edge here, so so you can see that border
Right.
on the inside as well. So I think that's a great look.
And it has been inked on not only the torn edges, but also on all the areas
Right.
of the card. And of course, you're just going to take your ink pad and just go straight right along, and that gives such a nice kind of
A
soft
finished
matting.
look. Yeah, and it finishes it
And
well.
what do you have?
So I have the Dazzles placed on there. First what I did is place it on a larger piece of paper, and I went ahead and start cutting. But I wanted to show that when you back a Dazzle, you don't absolutely have to go right up to the edge of the Dazzle. If we get in close, you can see that you can also keep an edge away from the Dazzle. That makes it easier to cut out. You don't have to fussy cut quite so much. And so I have to, here we go. And I just start going around. Then I don't have to worry about, you know, having to get every little piece around that Dazzle, because you'll note that these Dazzles are kind of intricate in some areas. So
Especially
if
important when you've got those ferns or any
so
delicate.
you can see I can just generally going around the edge of it, just sort of popping in and out. And then when I get to the circle, I just stay about 1/16 of an inch away about. And it's going to look fine no matter what way
Actually,
you do it.
hold on to that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna, let's fold this back just so you can kind of see. So there it is with the little border. There it is right next to it. It's the same. I mean, I think it works just beautifully.
Right.
So 2 options, nice to have. Okay, you want to see more? Oh,
I
you're going
do,
to color.
I do want to
Oh,
show
good.
that Lene went back in and added some, some Spectrum Noir pen here around. Just add that in. You can blend that in a little more with a blending pen. Just real simple to do. And even if you, well, watch this. I'm just going to go right over the rose this time. If you just go over the flower like that, it's going to cover that a little bit. If you want to wipe it off with a wipe or with your finger, you can do that and get it off the top edges. So that's pretty quick too.
Oh, very nice. And what I think is interesting is just that little area was colored. Oh, I guess the leaves were a little bit too.
Right, the
But
leaves are
not
green.
everything. So I think that gives you a little freedom. Do a little coloring if you
Right.
like.
Oh, look, the little jewel dazzles right in the center
Yeah.
of the butterflies and
Oh.
going around the edge of the frame as well.
Glad you pointed that out. I didn't even notice.
Okay.
So here is the another card, and this is also a cutaway. This has been inked with the purple, so that's interesting.
Right.
And this is again interesting. So we've got this circle. In fact, this is the same circle that we just saw.
It's the same dazzle that we just saw.
It's really used kind of as a backing along with the border, and then we have this beautiful, beautiful
right
paper
here,
tulle.
the 3D
Oh,
paper
okay.
tulle right here, and it is the pieces that you pointed out to, 1, 2, and 3, and you just pop those out just like this. So there's number 1. Here's number 2.
And number 1 you would normally just glue down to the surface. However, this has been inked, so you would do
Right,
that first,
so I would
right?
go ahead and ink. So I would pull them out separately like this, 1, 2, and 3. And then I get my ink pad, and I would use a cosmetic wedge, if I have one handy, and go ahead and pick up your ink from your ink pad, and then just start going around the edges like that.
Now
and
you-
I'll do that on each piece.
Now you're doing that because this is a wiggly edge.
Right. If it was, I couldn't use the ink pad
Right.
because it wouldn't fit into these areas.
Right.
And look, this fits perfectly. So you do that, let that dry just for a minute or something, and then some foam tape on the back there, and you start layering. And as you see when you layer, this is the smaller piece, it's number 3. It fits on number 2, and you can see that next piece, and then you'll fit it on here, number 3, no, right onto number 1. I did it in reverse order, but you know what I'm saying. So then you can see those pieces. And with the foam tape, you can see the shadows that are created from that look.
Right. And it's not, this is narrow foam tape, so we're not looking at the spongy kind that's like
Right.
a quarter of an inch.
It's
This
not
is
thick, it's,
right.
it's pretty thin, yeah.
But I do love that inking. I think that just does a nice, nice job. So, lovely day. And then on the inside, so that's using the kind of the dried flower
Right.
piece, and just tearing
Again, with that torn edge, that seems to fit this paperback really well.
It does, and I like this. So nothing's been done. The dazzles have just been placed and nicely placed, letting the butterflies get smaller as they get taller, as they go up. But you've got a nice area to do any message that you want, but how pretty that kind of watermark fern
and again,
is in the
simple.
back. Yeah.
A simple treatment makes a beautiful statement.
Yeah. Now I promised you more scrapbooking, so here we go. This is entitled Glorious Moments, Enjoy Life, and it's just perfect, just perfect.
And now there's a little bit more work involved to
Yes, there
something
is.
like this, but this is really like a keepsake. This is something that is pretty important, I felt like. And so this has got the metallic gold stays on the edges of the paper.
Oh.
I went ahead and cut the paper about 1/4 inch all the way around the edges so that you could get that black border on there.
Now you could have just used the metallic gold paper if you wanted to. In fact, you did later on in the page.
Or you can ink the edges here, which is kind of a nice treatment. And you
Right.
get that nice standout look. And then I love the border strip underneath the photo. This is one of my
Striking on
favorite
black.
pieces. Yeah. So you mat the photo on black, and I actually inked the photo as well. So you've got that gold edging. Then you've got that black strip on the bottom, a little bit farther enough down so that it will hold that border piece. You've got one of the Dazzles here. You can see this piece is one of the Dazzles, and you can back part of it, first part of it, the border and the flowers with that gold metallic, and then back the rest of it on one of the postcard pieces of paper.
When I first saw this, I was wondering where this image came from. I was looking at the paper toll that wasn't there, but it is part of the Nature's Touch paper. So that collage piece, I guess. And then you've got
the 3D paper toll. The foil paper toll is here on the left, and it's just a couple of those pieces that are stacked, but not all of them.
And let's back up just a second so I can show you. Here is the paper toll sheet. We talked about this.
Right.
There is this area.
And I was wrong. I did use all of them. One, two, three. I used all three pieces here. But in between those pieces, so you've got, and I did ink the edges of them with a little stays on. You've got piece number 1, piece number 2, and then before I put on piece number 3, this is where I added those metal leaves.
Right.
So that's just becomes part of that design.
And I think the bow treatment is so fun. So this is just a regular...
It's a regular bow. You go ahead and cut the ends in a V shape, and then you just fold that bow in half and tuck it in there and add a little bit of the twine.
Right, and that comes from, of course, the ribbon collection.
Right.
So then we have, there's always extra art on the sheets.
Foil paper toll, and so that's great. Just foam tape those on there. I love the tiny little gold jewel dazzles.
It's very nice.
It's like a little sprinkling of beads on there.
It's very pretty. And then we've got the jewel dazzles that you've done on top of the paper toll. So nice to have the collection of things together.
Okay, so
just
that's
beautiful.
the Nature's Touch collection, and then we get into the Dazzles, the other Dazzles.
These are the frame Dazzles, and this is matching onto, I believe, our Nature's Touch. And
no. This one isn't Nature's Touch. This is a different paper pack.
It could have been, huh?
It could have been Nature's Touch, but we happened to use this one, and I love this large framed piece, which is actually very open around the edges here, and so the leaf was backed on one of the papers and then on the rest of the paper, and this is the Trailblazer collection, as I recall.
Pulled that out of your head, did you? Okay, very pretty. Nice to have these kind of going over the art on the paper.
Right,
so that,
following those leaves. And again, masculine or feminine, but this would make a great masculine card, nice fall card.
Now, this is another one from that same Dazzle. It is not Nature's Touch, nor is it Trailblazer.
This is from our bulk papers, I believe.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was red velvet.
You are right. Red velvet.
So it's red velvet. But I think what it does is it shows that, this would be a very fall leaf. This could be fall. It could also be spring because, if you were just taking this area. So a lot of different seasons, again, masculine or feminine.
Different looks. And I love this look in particular. It's nice and a little glittery.
Let's get in close to see. Okay, this isn't just Spectrum Nord. There's more going on here.
There's more. There's silk microfine glitter on there.
Wow.
And so I have here
on all of it. Well,
You're
it's just
still
so
looking
pretty.
at it.
I
It's
am,
so
yes.
pretty.
Okay, go on,
and
Gail.
there are some colors added. I have a piece of white cardstock. I have double-sided adhesive, and I cut it just a little bit bigger than that leaf dazzle. I've removed the backing from that, and I'm just going to place it right on the cardstock. Go ahead and press it on. So now it's in place. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to lift the top. Make sure it's stuck on there and make it a little easier to lift the top covering piece. Because it is double-sided, there's a covering piece on both sides. Even when it's stuck on there, I have a hard time.
Sometimes you can talk to it very firmly.
There we go. So now I have that adhesive on there. I'm going to put it on a piece of scrap paper here, and I have the silk microfine micro glitter. There we go, the crystal micro glitter. This is not silk glitter. I said that incorrectly.
Let me at least give you a different color here.
Okay, all right, so we can see that. And then that's going right onto the double-sided adhesive. You don't need a lot of it. It's going to be moved around. And here we go.
But you do need to burnish it, and that's what you're doing by going in a swirling motion. A little bit of pressure.
Right, it doesn't have to be too much. You're just pushing it into that. And then we're going to tap that off and move it away and do it again. And we've decided that it takes 3 times to get all of this off.
It does take 3 times.
So you can see that just a little bit more of it comes off. And by the 3rd time, and I'm going to do this quickly, it should be finished.
Right, and that way you're not going to be wearing that glitter.
Right.
It's going to stay positioned where you told it to.
And from the red, Spectrum Noir pen set, we've got a couple of different colors here. Oh, and we've got
I'll put our Dazzles.
So let's start with the Dazzles. The large leaf frame, lifting that up. Very simple. You notice I can even set it on my fingers. It's not so sticky that you can't work with it. That's what I love about our Dazzles. I'm just going to set it right over that glittered image. When I'm done coloring it in, it's going to be really easy because it's not so sticky as it was to just cut around the edges and cut this piece out. But I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in. And Lene used this dark kind of a cranberry color right in the edges, right in the inner edges of that leaf. And then she went to the red, and let's see if I can, there we go, get the red off and start adding the rest of the color. And I'm just going to draw that color out, starting at the dark areas, and just sort of draw it out to the edge of the leaf. And you can play with that. It actually is better to go up and down. I was pulling a little bit.
And you want to just tap it because you don't want the glitter to get into the tip of your pen.
Right. So I would do this. I would fill up each of those areas, and then I would go back probably with the dark and add a little more until I get it just the look that I want. I do like blending those together a little bit, and then you can see on the finished piece what that looks like.
Right, so that's what you get when you're done. But you're getting not only that cranberry and the red, but you are getting all of that glitter, and it's just such a very pretty look and easy to do also.
Very easy to do. Just cut around the edges of that Dazzle and you've got more of them. There's one on the inside too.
Okay,
let's take a
here
look.
we go. Oh, pretty.
Beautiful.
Very striking.
I love that. Without any extra words, just a little extra memento on the inside.
Very nice, very nice. So you can see that Nature's Touch with the papers,
right,
with the Dazzles, both big and small,
right, and the ribbons,
and the paper tool, and the metal leaves. Now the metal leaves we're limited to stock on hand, so I just want to tell you that. But it's going to take you, I think, all year long for both masculine and feminine projects.
Sure, have fun.